William Edward Boeing was an American aviation pioneer who founded the Boeing Company in 1916. William Boeing was born in Detroit, Michigan, to Maria Mortman, from Vienna, Austria, and Wilhelm Boeing from Hohenlimburg, Germany. Wilhelm Boeing emigrated to the United States in 1868 and initially worked as a laborer. His move to America was disliked by his father and he received no financial support. He later made a fortune from Northwood's timberlands and iron ore mineral rights on the Mesabi Range of Minnesota, north of Lake Superior. In 1890, when William was 8, his father died of influenza, and his mother soon remarried. He attended school in Europe at Vevey, Switzerland, and returned to the U.S. for a year of prep school in Boston. He enrolled at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. He left Yale in 1903 before graduating to go into the lumber business. Boeing moved to Hoquiam, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest. He purchased extensive timberland around Grays Harbor on the Olympic Peninsula, and also bought into lumber operations. He made a success of the venture, in part by shipping lumber to the East Coast via the then new Panama Canal, generating funds that he would later apply to a very different business. While president of Greenwood Timber Company, Boeing, who had experimented with boat design, traveled to Seattle, where, during the Alaska-Yukon Pacific Exposition in 1909, he saw a man-flying machine for the first time and became fascinated with aircraft. Boeing decided to take lessons at the Glenn L. Martin Flying School in Los Angeles and he purchased one of Martin's planes. Martin pilot James Floyd Smith traveled to Seattle to assemble Boeing's new Martin TA Hydro airplane and continue to teach its owner to fly. Huge crates arrived by train, and Smith assembled the plane in a tent hangar erected on the shore of Lake Union. William Boeing became a pilot. Boeing's test pilot, Herb Munter, soon damaged the plane. They soon built and flew the B&W seaplane, an amphibian biplane that had outstanding performance. Boeing decided to go into the aircraft business and bought an old boat works on the Duwamish River near Seattle for his factory. In 1916, Boeing went into business with George Conrad Westervelt as B&W and founded the Pacific Aero Products Company. The company's first plane was the Boeing Model 1. When America entered the First World War on April 8, 1917, a little more than a month later, Boeing changed the name from Pacific Aero Products Company to Boeing Airplane Company and obtained orders from the U.S. Navy for 50 planes. At the end of the war, Boeing began to concentrate on commercial aircraft. He secured contracts to supply airmail service, and built an airmail operation and later passenger service that evolved into United Airlines. In 1921, Boeing married Bertha Marie Potter Paschal. She had previously been married to Nathaniel Paschal, a real estate broker with whom she had 2 sons, Nathaniel Paschal Jr. and Cranston Paschal. The couple had a son of their own, William Boeing Jr. The stepsons went into aviation manufacturing as a career. Nat Paschal was a sales manager for competitor Douglas Aircraft, which later became McDonnell Douglas. Bill Jr. became a private pilot and industrial real estate developer. Bertha Potter Paschal Boeing was the daughter of Howard Cranston Potter and Alice Kershaw Potter. The name Boeing is anglicized from the German name Boeing, and had Welsh origins as a patronymic from Owen. In 1929, Boeing joined with Frederick Rentschler of Pratt & Whitney to form United Aircraft and Transport Corporation. The new grouping was a vertically integrated company with interests in all aspects of aviation, intending to serve all aviation markets. In a short time, it bought a host of small airlines, merging them with Boeing's pioneering airline under a holding company, United Airlines. In 1934, the United States government accused William Boeing of monopolistic practices. The same year, the Airmail Act forced airplane companies to separate flight operations from development and manufacturing. William Boeing divested himself of ownership as his holding company, United Aircraft and Transport Corporation, broke into 3 separate entities. He began investing most of his time in his horses in 1937. Boeing Airplane Company, though a major manufacturer in a fragmented industry, did not really become successful until the beginning of World War II. Between 1935 and 1944, William Boeing and his wife Bertha set aside a large tract of land north of the Seattle city limits for subdivision, including the future communities of Richmond Beach, Richmond Heights, Innis Arden, Blue Ridge, and Shoreview. He then spent the remainder of his life in property development and thoroughbred horse breeding. Concerned about the possibility of World War II battles in the Pacific Northwest, he purchased a 650-acre farm in the countryside east of Seattle. The estate remained in the family until most of the land was sold and developed into a golf course in 2001. Several acres, however, remained in the family, including the Boeing zone and 2 smaller houses. His primary residence for most of his life, however, was a mansion in the Highlands community close to Seattle. The William E. Boeing House was later listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Boeing Creek running near this property bears his name. William Boeing died on September 28, 1956, at the age of 74, 3 days before his 75th birthday.